In Africa, Africa needs a lot when it comes to equipment, when it comes to technology and machinery, and there are a lot of expectations in this regard. And that's why we still need to do a lot, we need to work a lot, and we would like to request an assistant. And the most important thing you can help with is this exchanges, transfers of technology, exchange of experience. We need to understand how there is another essential field, which is science and education, and we would like to see Russia assisting us in training and educating our youth to help us to develop our own industries, our own enterprises.
Those are powerful speeches from our revolutionary leaders. President of Burkina Faso, who is representing Africa, President Ibrahim Traoré, and also President of Russia, Vladimir Putin. Dear lovely family, I will concentrate much on the speech of our beloved continental president, Captain Ibrahim Traoré. In this speech of Traoré, I was listening very keenly where Traoré will ask for aid, loans, or begging, but I didn't hear anything like that. But what I heard from Captain Ibrahim Traoré is technology sharing, partnership, and technology transfer. The thing that is totally different with these political leaders. Always political leaders, when they get opportunity like this, they are always asking for grant, for loans, for money. But Captain Ibrahim Traoré is different. And that's why we are saying this man is a revolutionary leader. And apart from that, he's a prophet. He's spoken very well on the issue of training soldiers, that we need to train soldiers to share experience with Russia. It is a good thing because right now, as you know, Saharan countries facing threats from Western power after Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger take control of their natural resources. You see destabilization, and recently you heard the story of U.S. offered armored vehicles to Ghana. You may say this is aid, but these people are very, very, very technical. Behind of those vehicles, maybe sometimes there are some systems that are tracking issues in different parts of our continent. Because they're so technological, they can use those grants. You think that someone is giving you a gift, but that is a spying tool that is collecting information from you. So that is a warning. But all in all, Captain Ibrahim Traoré asked Russian to support, to transfer skills in training soldiers, to fight jihadists and to bring peace. And he said very well that if we have these jihadists, the army of Burkina Faso has to become a powerful army in the continent of Africa. Yes, because many times they are busy fighting these jihadists. And these jihadists, you may ask, where are they getting weapons? Where are they being trained? So you find that within our regions, within our continent, there are some leaders who are supporting these issues. Because if you look the map of Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger, these are landlocked countries. So how did these people get weapons? So they use the neighboring countries to have access to weapons and tools to come and destabilize this Saharan region. So Captain Ibrahim Traoré has asked President Putin to help on that. Also on the issue of education, that is where I think Captain Ibrahim Traoré has touched my heart. We need to educate our people. We need to make sure that we give our people a light of education that will help them to liberate their minds. Right now, we have education system. This I can call this education system that we have. This is a colonial education. Still, we have a colonial education that create a colonial or slaves people. And that's why after finishing schools, after finishing universities, after finishing maybe colleges, you find we Africans busy on the street with envelope full of copies of certificates to find jobs instead of going and starting businesses or starting companies. instead of doing things on the ground, implementing our ideas, you find that even we Africans, with all these resources, we are busy finding jobs. There's no need for Africans continent with all these potentials, minerals, is the continent that people are finding jobs. It's because of education system that we have. So we need to find a light education. The education that Chinese has, education that Russia has, we want such kind of education. And of course, even the education that Europeans have. Just imagine the students in China, where there is no uranium in China, there is no gold in China, maybe there's no lithium, but the students of China know and understand how to process lithium, how to process diamond. But they don't have those things in their countries. But they have education systems that teaching them to process, to manufacture electric cars, to manufacture batteries, to get these smartphones. But we Africans who have all those things, materials, lithium, cobalt, cotton, rare earth, minerals, everything, our students, they don't know how to process. We have gold, and I'm sure many of us, we didn't even touch the gold. We don't know. And if someone can give us maybe gold and grass, we cannot differentiate. We don't know what is gold and how we can use gold. And that's why you find that even those who are in power, when they access those gold or those minerals, they prefer to export into low forms. We have been asking that we need to add value. But how can we add value while we are not educated our people to value addition? So Captain Ibrahim Traoré has touched my heart on the issue of education. We need to train engineers who can build roads. Of course, in Burkina Faso, they have started. That is a good thing. They have started building their own infrastructures. They have started building things in Burkina. Those are just good things that are happening in Burkina Faso. But we need education. Not just this, what we call a classical education. We need environmental education. After finishing schools or universities, what can we do outside? You know, as I said, this colonial education that we have, it is the education that is performing on class. If you take maybe African professional, even professors, these that they call them educated, take him out of books and exercise books, give them tools. You have started maybe science. Okay, do something with your science. We are nothing. We are nothing. We have the education of memorization. So we need to move out of memorization. We need actions. We need practical education that's solving our challenges and give us answers. And also the issue of technologies, of course, I've been saying this many times. We need to have technologies. Technologies is very important. For instance, as I said, Burkina Faso is in the process of building nuclear power plant. You know, Burkina Faso has uranium. So Captain Ibrahim Traoré wants that uranium to help to power industries, to create industries. This is what you call nuclear power plant, to produce electricity to supply to these industries. But we don't have technologies. Russia has that technology. And Russia went beyond. It created, Putin created these nuclear bombs and many other things like that. And that's why you see that Russia, any country, fear to battle with Russia. Because if Russia can become hungry and use those hypersonic missiles, the world will sink. So we need even Africa to have that technology where we Africans, we can start benefit from our uranium. And you know, these countries, these Western powers, they're not ready to see that Africa will own nuclear. They will try to do everything. They will say we are terrorists. They will say leaders are bad leaders. And that's why they started to Captain Ibrahim Traoré. After Captain Ibrahim Traoré shown the interest of building nuclear power plant, there's a great fear. Maybe Traoré is going beyond, is going to create maybe these nuke weapons. The thing that is not true. Right now we are seeking electricity power. We want to use our uranium to produce electricity. And that technology is in our partners, such as Russia, China. Those are partners that can help Africa. America cannot give us that technology. France is our enemy, cannot give us. You see, European, they will say we are not democratic, they will not give us. So the only option is to work with Russia, China, and these southern countries that can collaborate with us. And that's why you see Captain Ibrahim Traoré went to Russia, not just attending the parade. He went to meet Putin direct to tell him that we have resources, but we lack technology. You have technology, you lack resources. Let us exchange. Let us exchange resources with technology. We want technology. We want our young people to start building industries. We want our young people to be innovative. How can you become an innovation or an innovation center while you don't have electricity? All of these devices need electricity. Right now, we are talking about electric cars. How are we going to charge those cars without having reliable electricity? And that's why Captain Ibrahim Traoré is in Russia, not just attending parade and standing in the watching. No, he went to meet Putin face to face. And I think this is a good move. Also, there's the issue of scholarship students. And of course, this is also another issue that is very important. It is obvious for Africans to send some people, to send these students to different parts of the world. But one thing that our students disappointing us, of course, maybe they are not disappointing us. It's because of the system that we have. When we send our students or Africans went abroad, many of them are not ready to come back. They find jobs. That's where we have colonial minds, that we get education skills instead of coming back and use those skills and technologies for the interest of our nations. We remain in those countries, we escape, we find jobs there, then we start working, we find jobs there instead of coming and create things here in the continent of Africa. So even we African people, we need to change our minds. We need to have revolutionary minds, because the basic education that we attain here in the continent of Africa is the colonial education. So education is preparing us to become slaves. So even if we go out there, we go there as slaves. Not all, some of us, don't quote me along, not all, some of us. Because I'm saying this because I have a vivid example. We have some athletics who went to participate Olympic. After Olympic, they ran away. They escaped. They didn't come back. They escaped in Europe. They're not ready to come back to Africa. Yes, we know that sometimes there's difficulties in our mother continent, Africa, but who will help this continent? If all of us, we are going to escape, to run away, who will help this continent? If all of us, we are going to say Africa is not good, who will say Africa is good? And who will build Africa if it's not we Africans? So I think there's a time we Africans, we need to be more patriotic. And to be more patriotic, we need a light education. We need to teach our people to love ourselves, to love our nation, to love our continent, to love each other, to see that we Africans, we can do things. And that's what's happening in Burkina and other places. This is a time for we Africans to come together. We have got this visionary leader, Captain Ibrahim Traoré. We need to make him a president of Africa. So this is my request to all of you, my followers, my dear friends, fellow Africans who is watching this video. Please let us come together, unite, create a rally to make Captain Ibrahim Traoré a president of Africa. It's possible. If all of us can come together, we can raise our voices. Even if those who have hate with Captain Ibrahim Traoré will not accept, but if we can say we want to make Captain Ibrahim Traoré a president of Africa, it means what's happening in Burkina Faso must happen in other countries. If Captain Ibrahim Traoré took control of minerals in Burkina, also minerals must be taken in Congo. We must, yes, there are some mines that have already maybe taken by these multinational companies. They have signed agreements. Let us those new that we discover. Every now and then Africans discovering minerals. Those new discovered minerals must be owned by Africans, not giving these minerals to other people. So if we can come together, as I said, and make Captain Ibrahim Traoré our president of Africa, if we say something from Burkina Faso, all of us we can do. If we said today is a cleaning day, all of the entire continent will go to the street to start cleaning our cities, our townships. If Captain Ibrahim Traoré will say, today we are going to farm, we are going to make sure that we farm to make sure that we feed ourselves, we can all of us fall. That the entire continent, we can say, young people, we are going to make sure that we feed ourselves. That's what we want from our leader, from Captain Ibrahim Traoré. Because right now, as you see, things is not okay on the continent. Things is not okay. Africa, we are being fed by others. Africans, we are destabilized. Africans, we are not innovating. We have become markets. We are talking continental free trade area, border are closed. So who will help us? It's we young people who are supposed to take responsibilities and actions. And the time for action is now. We are not against anyone. We are talking about the unity of this continent. Don't quote us different. We are talking about unity and development in this continent. We want to see resources of this continent being controlled by young people. What's wrong for black people to control mines? Why always we see these big mines in the continent of Africa owned by these multinational companies from outside, not multinational companies from Africa, from outside? What Africa we own? We own nothing. I tell you, 70% of mine in the continent of Africa is not owned by Africans. Yes, those mines are in Africa, but not owned by Africans. So we want even Africans to own a single industry to manufacture cars, where we see African cars being driven in the continent. Have you seen Kenyan car in Nigeria? Have you seen Nigerian car in Botswana? Have you seen Botswana mobile in Burkina? Have you seen it? But it is very easy for you to see American phone in Europe, in China, and sometimes, in Africa. It is very easy to see Chinese phone in Ethiopia, in Ouagadougou, in Ghana. It is very easy to see Japanese cars in Africa, in Burkina Faso, in Nigeria. So we want even African product to be worldwide. We want to see the thing that was produced here in Africa are being recognized. So, but we can do so if we can come together. My dear lovely family, friends, fellow Africans, let us not speak for too long. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to share, to subscribe if you are new, and also to like the video. Here we are. Thank you for watching. Stay in power. See you next time.
Thank you, Africa.